Hey everyone, so this is my third attempt at filming this video. My computer was not cooperating, so now I'm trying it on my phone. I'm going to be teaching you how to crochet a scarf. I already have it like halfway started because this is my third attempt at filming. So I'm going to teach you how to cast on, but then unravel it after because I've already started. You're going to start with making a slip knot and putting your finger through it to have a loop like this. And you're going to take your working yarn, this is called your working yarn. You'll take your working yarn and push it through and hook it so that now that is where your finger is. And then you keep building it and building it until it's the length that you want. Now I'm going to unravel this because I've already started knitting the yarn, and now I'll show you how to do it. I'm still on my first row, and the first row can be really rocky. It's very easy to get this cast on row twisted up and just kind of confusing, but once you have your first row done, everything else will even out. So what you do is, you take, this is what your cast on row looks like. You take the stitch here, you take your working yarn, pull it through, and hook it onto your finger. Now there are two loops on your finger. You take your working yarn and you loop them through both loops and then tighten it as you want. And so then again, go to the next one. You loop it through, put it on your finger, and then loop it again. And you keep going until you reach the end of your row. So that won't be long for me now because, again, I tried filming this before and my computer totally ruined everything. So here we go. The thing I love about crocheting, especially finger crocheting, because I can't maneuver a hook to crochet, I cannot figure that out. But with finger crocheting, all you need are your fingers and some yarn. And it's so inexpensive because yarn is $5, $6, it can be up to $10 a skein, or even more, depending. Like the bigger, softer yarns, or alpaca wool yarn, that's really expensive, but it's worth it. Alpaca wool is so warm and incredible. It's a little scratchy, but it's worth it. It's so easy to learn. All you need is someone who's willing to either show you or just access to YouTube. I learned from YouTube. It was so easy. And it's easier to work with a thicker yarn, especially like this is size 4 yarn. So it's a little thin. I like to work with size 5 or 6, depending. My favorite yarn is actually, it's called, it's by Lion Brand. It's the line of it is called Hometown. It's soft, it's thick, it's easy to work with, and knits up so beautifully. And it's like $5 a skein. And Joann's actually usually has it on sale for 25% off, so I get it cheaper there. Alright, I have reached the end of the first row, as you can see. And it looks pretty rough, but no, what you do at the end is you loop it through like that, and then turn it around, and then you go into the first loop here, and you start stitching. And you just keep going until you reach the other end, lather, rinse, repeat. It's a very tedious hobby, very repetitive, but that repetitivity, I think that's a word, it's so relaxing. Like, I like to do it when I'm watching something on TV, because I can't sit still. And I like to keep my hands moving, so I'll be able to watch my favorite show. Right now, it's my favorite show lately has been Queer Eye. Just got into it, it's so good. And as you go along, you're enjoying yourself, watching something silly, but also making something. So you're still being productive. And these make great gifts. I mean, when you see somebody wearing a scarf or a hat that you've made, it just makes your heart feel so warm. And all you have to do is pick a yarn they'll like, and put on your favorite show. It's so easy, it's so simple, and everyone loves it. I haven't met a single person who I've given a hat or a scarf to that hasn't loved it. I've given them to my friends and my family, and I mean, they wear them all the time, and it makes my heart smile. It sounds so cheesy, but it does. It makes my heart smile. And just knowing that I'm helping them stay warm in the winter is everything. Because who doesn't want to be warm in the winter? This scarf is for my grandma. I've had this yarn in my stash. I'm so bad about yarn. I hoard it. It's bad. But this has been in my stash since about Christmas time from last year. So about 8 or 9 months, could have a baby in that time. But I didn't know what to do with it. I kind of impulse bought it because I was like, "Ooh, this is so pretty. I'm gonna buy it," which is something I've been trying not to do lately. My yarn skein actually fell off of my bed during the last video attempt I did. So that's why I keep pulling at the yarn, because it's on the floor. My floor is clean though, so it's fine. But yeah, when I found out my grandma's favorite colors are blue and green, I knew I had to use this yarn for her. And she's the kind of person, no matter what you give her, if you make it, she will love it. You could give her a dried up Play-Doh cookie. She'd love it, honestly. So I can't wait for her to get this, especially since she lives in north central Wisconsin, and it gets cold up there. So she can have this to keep warm and remember her favorite grandchild, which is me. She tells me I'm her favorite all the time. It makes me feel special. Alright, so I'm not going to keep going on for too long, because I think getting the gist. I'm almost at the end of this row, so I guess I'll go until there and show you one more time how to switch on to the next row. But yeah, as you can see, hang on, everything is starting to even out. It looks uniform for the most part, and even if it doesn't look uniform, don't even worry about it. It makes what you're creating just more special, gives it character. And if you give a scarf to somebody like, "Oh, it's not perfect," they don't deserve your scarf. Alright. It's gonna take a hot minute. So again, you just to reiterate, you loop it through the stitch, put it on your finger, and then loop the working yarn through there. There are other stitches. There are so many crocheting stitches, but a lot of them are really difficult to do with your finger. They're meant for a finer yarn with a small hook, and I can't maneuver a hook to save my life. I just don't get it. So there's another stitch called a double stitch. This is a single stitch. There's a double stitch that works where I can actually show you. So you finish, you do your stitch like so. You pull it through and pull it through, and then you make a link, and then you skip a stitch and hook into the next one, and then you keep going like that. But I want this scarf to be single stitch so that it's a little warmer, A double stitch creates a more open weave, and in North Central Wisconsin you want a more closed weave to keep you warm. Almost to the end here. And there's a good chance that your edges will end up looking a little bit slanted. Don't worry about it. It happens all the time. Okay, we're at the end of our row, and again, you pull it through, flip it around, and then go into that first stitch there and start stitching again. And then you keep going until your scarf is at the desired width, and then you wrap it up and give it as a present. I hope you learned something. I hope I was a good teacher. Doubt I was, but you never know. Hope this was helpful. Bye-bye.